everybody, welcome back. And today I just kind of wanted to go through a fun overview of a league I've just been playing, obviously by myself since there's no multiplayer in Front Office Football 9, but something different than my Let's Play, just something I've been doing for fun, rebuilding the Arizona Cardinals. And the year is now 2058, and I have had quite the run. If we go to the team history here, you'll see that I fired Jonathan Gannon after 1 year. I cut Kyler Murray. Um, Hired Kellen Moore. That might be kind of a bad idea to do in real life, but here it worked out quite well. As you can see, I've won 10 Super Bowls through 2057. This quarterback here, uh, Brody Rell, he's got 7 Super Bowls to his name. So if we go to him, look at his stats, um, really good player in the draft. I drafted him 1-1. I think he was like a 9.9 estimated, quality in the draft profile. You didn't really see any of those in Front Office Football 8 at all, but here in Front Office Football 9, there's a lot of quarterbacks that just like completely jump off the charts. So looking at this, he's got a career passing percentage of almost 75%, 60,000 yards. We go look at his playoff stats. He actually didn't play in every Super Bowl. I won one with an undrafted free agent quarterback once when he was injured. Um, but in the playoffs, he's been even better than he's been during the season. 76, almost 77% passing percentage. Um, really good touchdown interception ratio. Just lots of good stuff coming from him. If we go over, we'll just take a look at the Hall of Fame and kind of see the players I've had over the course that have made a big impact on my team, big enough impact to make it to the Hall of Fame. So if we go to Hall of Fame here, we'll just order by team. Take a look at the Arizona Pioneers here. This Darren Collier guy, I kept him on my team for forever, pretty much till I retired. Um, and he was an absolute beast. Drafted him at the end of the first round. Um, for just a really good stretch here for 3 years, he had almost 60 sacks in 3 years. 20 sacks a season for 2 years is crazy. Um, just a really good player overall. Then Todd Demery, pretty solid corner. Um, didn't have the most interceptions or anything, but started on my team for quite a long time. Go look at his stats. You know, 22 career interceptions. Nothing really special about him. Um, I think that it's a little bit easier to get players in the Hall of Fame in this year, this version of the game, as opposed to Front Office Football 9. Um, Interesting how Penny Sewell shows up under my team for the Hall of Fame. I think that's because they don't have the original drafting and stats like they did in previous front office footballs. Um, so he's really a lion, but I signed him to my team, so he retired. Hall of Fame as a Arizona Pioneer. I guess let's take a look at my other quarterback that helped me win a couple Super Bowls. So we look at Nick Williams here, statistics, and well, first let's take a look at when he was drafted. Drafted him 6 overall, so not as high. He was actually the second quarterback taken in this draft here, and his statistics, they weren't bad. Um, 70% completion rating as opposed to, almost 77, 75 with my new quarterback. But in the playoffs, solid 70% completion rating, good touchdown interception ratio, just a good player overall. Good record 123, 66 and 2. Uh, drafted a good quarterback in this game. Pretty much any quarterback will perform to a level that's way better than even some of the Hall of Famers would in front office football eights. But you get a good quarterback, a great quarterback in this game, and he's going to just carry your team as long as you can put a couple building blocks around him. I found that um, looking at my team here, it's like who I've signed. Building a good team is really important to have a good offensive line. Centers, I've had a lot of good centers. They're really easy to get, I think, later in the round. Sometimes you can get really elite ones in the first round, but this guy's end of the second, 75 overall, really good. Um, Elite lines, then you don't really need that great of a running back. You know, Receivers kind of go crazy in this game too. Let's take a look at Austin Westcott. I drafted him in the first round, and if we look at him, his statistics, you know, he had a season where he had 1,700 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. That's in here 1,800 yards. Receivers in this game can just go off the deep end when it comes to generating stats. If he plays for a couple more years, don't know if he will, can maybe get up to those Larry Fitzgerald type numbers, but a lot more accurate, uh, I guess, modern day stats as opposed to front office football 8, where, 1,000 yard receiver was really good. Now you're looking at almost 2,000 yard receivers. So that's great to see that involved in the game. But like I said, like building is, look at my history. I've missed since the, 2024. I've missed the playoffs once in like 30 years. Um, 110 Super Bowls. But I think the main thing is kind of like it is in real life. Find your quarterback, build your offensive line, and just keep drafting defensive linemen. Don't pay your defensive linemen, uh, generally speaking, at all. Let them go. Get the comp picks. Get some more depth on the defensive line. Let them get to a 50, 60 overall. Let them walk. Get more comp picks. Kind of like the Bill Belichick method in a way. Um, I tend to draft the corners higher. Get some good corners on the team. Safeties. There's a little bit easier to get tight ends, I think, in this game as opposed to front office football 8. A little bit more on the draft scale where sometimes you have maybe one tight end you want in the whole draft. Here, I've seen a few drafts with 5, 6 tight ends you might want to have on your team. But another thing I'd like to talk about, I guess, is injuries. Injuries in this game are just crazy. Um, I've had in another league I've had Bijan Robinson, and he's like an 80 overall, and I signed him in free agency, and he tore his Achilles, and he was out for, a season, and he came back, played 3 snaps, tore his Achilles again, and was out for a whole another year, and that's just kind of the luck of the draw. So, when you're in free agency, don't really overpay for too many players because it can really tank your team. But I think other than that, that's kind of all I kind of wanted to showcase. I guess if we look at, was it performance? There's a way that you can see how your team is done. Well, I guess since it's been 30 years, let's just take a look at, um, career stats for the team, career leaders. Um, you know, 117.3 is a really good passer rating for a whole season. Um, yeah, quarterback stuff, passing attempts. That's when you get up to 7,000 passing attempts, that guy's arm's about to fall off. But they got so many good stats that you can easily, are easily accessible in this game as opposed to front office football 8. It's just, learning where they all are. Yeah, if we go to the team index here, you can see that, over the 30, 40 years I've played this game, 402, 191, and 2 ties. Not too bad. 13 bowl appearances, 10 championships. It's kind of what you want to see out of your team. But it's just a really good game. I can't really say enough about Front Office Football 9. It's just really fun. It's really easy to play compared to Front Office Football 8 because you can I think you could in Front Office Football 8 as well, but you can let the AI handle the minor roster decisions. And it's just so much easier than Front Office Football 8 to sim a whole season once you get your core roster in place and you don't have to worry about signing all these minor players. The AI does a fairly good job of signing them. If you want to do it yourself, you can. But just a whole lot of fun. Just one more time going back to the history. I never had done this before in Front Office Football 8, but 4 Super Bowls in a row. That was just crazy. I couldn't believe it. And looking forward to see what I can do in the next 50 years. Maybe I'll do an update on this roster, this playthrough once I get there. Um, and just show you how this team has continued to succeed or fail as updates continue to come out for this game. And I'm going to have to get a new quarterback soon. I mean, he's 37 years old. I don't think he's going to play till he's 45. We'll see how long he plays. So great talking to you guys.